What a difference a couple of months makes. It is springtime here in the high country. And if you think back to 3 months ago, I was sharing with you that for the full calendar year 2023, Summit County real estate prices, average sales were essentially flat compared to 1 year prior. I did mention that in the fourth quarter of last year, we had seen modest appreciation year over year for the quarter, and I posed to you the question, do you think that this price appreciation is going to continue into 2024? A few of you reached out with your educated guesses, and in a few seconds, you're going to get the answer. In the meantime, if we do see price appreciation in 2024, what does it mean to you as a buyer? And if you're a seller, how will this benefit the bottom line? That's what we're going to discuss in this video. Hi, it's Pete Deininger with the Breck Life Group right here in Breckenridge, Colorado. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the first quarter of 2024 Summit County real estate market statistics and update. Now, we'll talk number of sales, we'll talk average sales prices, inventory, what's happening with inventory. But before we do that, like usual, I want to remind you that we have been getting a bunch of people reaching out with questions. They've been calling and texting with questions about buying and selling investment properties or vacation homes here in the mountains. So if you've got questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here to help. Let's get started. Of my 3 key takeaways from the market statistics for the first quarter, first up is sales. So this is the number of transactions that occurred during the first 3 months of the year. And as a recap, we have been watching for 4 years now total number of closed transactions in pretty significant decline. Sellers or owners realized that during going back to 2020 and the COVID pandemic, their mountain retreat was perhaps the perfect place from which to have a safe getaway in the mountains. And so more and more owners were hanging onto their properties for longer than what is our normal 5 to 7 year cycle, where people either sell and move on from Summit County, or they right size. They move up because they need more space, or they trade down in size because not everyone is coming to join them. So for the last 4 years, we've been watching the number of sales per quarter or per year fall pretty significantly. As a reminder, 2023, 7% fewer transactions than 2022, and that was certainly down from 21, and that was down from 2020. Surprisingly, around Summit County in the first quarter of 2024, 5% increase in the number of sales. So we're seeing more transactions slightly around the county. In Breckenridge specific, we saw a 22% increase in the number of closed transactions. I think there are really 2 factors attributing to this. I'm going to talk about one of them here and stick around to my 3rd key takeaway because that's the other factor. One of the factors is that interest rates have kind of plateaued. While there's still some volatility in mortgage interest rates, buyers are kind of comfortable at 6.5, 6 3/4, dipping into the 7s and back down into the 6s. And I think it's because they were on such a steep rise for a couple of years that now people have gotten more comfortable with where interest rates are. So I think that has led to people returning to the market. Buyers are returning to buy their dream homes here in the mountains. My 2nd key takeaway, average sales price. And again, a quick reminder of where we've been, so that sets the tone for what we see in the first quarter. As we look back to calendar year 2023, average sales price around Summit County was essentially unchanged over the prior year, 2022. Now, during my last market update, I did mention that the fourth quarter of 2023, we saw a 10% year over year appreciation. So what that means is that at the beginning of 2023, we actually saw prices declining and then getting flat during the middle of the summer. And in the fourth quarter, we saw 10% appreciation fourth quarter of 2023 compared to the prior year. to start this year off, and this was the question I asked everybody, do you think prices will continue to climb? And we saw another 10% appreciation first quarter of 24 compared to that same time period 1 year ago. So we've now seen 2 consecutive quarters of 10% price appreciation year over year. For sellers, this is probably a good thing for you. We're back to earning you more money when you sell your property. For buyers, I know you might think that you are fighting this never-ending battle of being priced out of the market, but I'm going to ask you to consider what the opportunity cost is of waiting. You have come here for a specific reason. You wanted to create memories with your family. You wanted to enjoy the Breck life, the hiking, the biking, the skiing, the fishing, and the golf. And so the opportunity cost of sitting on the sidelines and waiting for some catastrophic pullback in prices, which I don't think is coming, is the missed opportunity of the pure enjoyment of the lifestyle here in the mountains. And my third key takeaway from the first quarter of 2024, a new year. This year means new listings. Now, the first quarter of any year is typically not listing season. I mean, it's January, February, and March. If you own a property here and you're renting your property in a vacation rental program, those are probably your 3 peak months of revenue earning. And that means your property is probably rented most nights. So why list your property when you're not going to be able to get a buyer in there? That's what we see in a normal year, but this clearly hasn't been a normal year so far. It hasn't been the average year. Around Summit County, 32% more new listings in the first quarter than the first quarter of last year. And in Breckenridge specifically, 52% increase in the number of new listings. So if you think back to my first point about number of sales and how buyers have become comfortable with mortgage interest rates, I think this is the second component to why we're seeing more sales. We've got more available properties. So if you are that buyer who's thinking you've maybe been priced out because of price appreciation, one of the benefits of what we're seeing so far in the new year is that at least more inventory means more choices. And it may mean with rising inventory that sellers can't just price their property anywhere and expect that they're still going to have competing offers. So I think there is a window of opportunity this summer for buyers here in Summit County. Well, that wraps up my 3 key takeaways from the first quarter of 2024 market update. Now, we always embed this video in a full blog post that goes into a lot more details and more specificity. Single family homes, how they're doing, multifamily condos and townhomes compared to single family homes, availability, all kinds of details. If you look in the description of this video, I'll put a link to the full blog post. It's an evergreen blog post on our website, so you can always bookmark that page, and you can always return to get the latest and greatest information on the Summit County real estate market. Once again, if you've got questions, don't hesitate, reach out, give us a call, send a text. We're always here to help guide you through listing and selling, or helping you navigate a purchase of your dream home here in the mountains. Until the next video, have a great day.